I had made a video which answered your questions, which I took from the comment section about Qatar Airways, things about scars, getting pregnant, getting married, moving out of accommodation. There were so many things. But the video was getting too long and I did not have enough time. So I've made another video. This is the part 2 of the same video, where I'd be taking more questions which you have asked me. The first question is, could you specify if it's mandatory for hair to be long and put up in a bun, if short, or if the short hairstyle is allowed? So if you have hair which are longer than the nape of your neck, okay, so longer than this, then you have to make a bun. There's no option out of it. You have to do it. So the bun, you have to take a donut and you put it on your head. I can make a video on that if you like. It's very quick and it is very easy and it looks pretty. Anything below the nape of your neck, it's a bun. Then previously they used to allow having a pony, but the pony had to be straight. So if you have baby hair or curly hair like me, then you cannot have a pony. No, it's not allowed. You will have to make it straighten. You have to straighten it every day, or whatever works for you to get your hair straightened. But you cannot have a pony. But when I was there in the last year, during the last year, they asked to stop the pony. So it's either open hair, short tail hair, or it's a bun. So I'm not sure if they have changed that rule now, but that's what it is. You can have short hair as well. I have seen girls with, almost like a bob cut or something, but the hair cannot be shorter than 1 inch. So your scalp should not show. This is also for the boys. Scalp should not show. So that's the shortest that you can have. The next question is hair color allowed? So no, hair color is not allowed, but also you cannot have the hair color of something which is like brown hair, red hair, or black hair or something. No, your hair has to be all the same color, and you cannot have any of those funky blue, green, pink colors. No, you cannot have it. You're not allowed to do so. But if, let's say, you just want to make it all brown or all black, that is okay. You can do that as long as it looks all the same. That's okay, that's allowed. And this is a little sneak peek inside because I was working there. I had friends who had even hair tattoo here. She used to keep her hair open, so she had a hair tattoo here which did not show because it doesn't show. Or I also know friends who have colored their hair, but as long as it doesn't show when they make a bun, because if you're able to put your hair in a bun in such a way that it doesn't show, you can actually color your hair. So you can do things as long as it doesn't show. So that's fine, you're good to go. But of course you cannot have all blue or all green or this rainbow shade. I'm sorry, but cannot have it. Do we get winter outfit? Do they give grooming classes? Is makeup mandatory? So no, we do not have any winter outfit because we are already wearing jacket 24/7, 365 days a year, and the AC has been controlled like that you don't really feel hot. So it's just adjusted enough so that you don't feel hot or cold, whether it's summer or winter, doesn't matter. Then do they give grooming classes? Yes, we actually get the grooming module during the training. That is, I have mentioned in my previous video that the first month of the training you do get a grooming training session as well. So that's, I suppose, maybe 1 or 2 classes, but they will talk about everything of what is allowed, what is not allowed, and how can you fix things, or what are the things which you can have extra. So they mention about those. Is makeup mandatory? Yes, and yes. Makeup is mandatory. You would have to be there as soon as you start your shift. You would have to go to the grooming officer and she would check your makeup and your appearance overall, and if she doesn't find it up to the standards, then she will ask you to make it proper. Let's say you don't have enough lipstick, then she will ask you to put lipstick and come back and show it to her. And maybe if it's something fixable, you can fix it, then you can start working. If it's something which is unfixable, let's say you have henna. Yes, henna is not allowed at all. 0% tolerance for henna. So if you have henna, she would just send you home. That's an unpaid leave. You would have to be at home for whatever days it takes, 10-15 days, for you to sit at home and wait for the henna to come down or come off. Only then you can work. So makeup is mandatory, not just henna but everything. So they have the 5 basic grooming items. So I have already talked about that in the makeup video which I made. So that is a concealer, a compact, lipstick, blusher and mascara. These 5 things you always have to wear, and the grooming officer checks. I'm not kidding, she checks. She gets paid to do that, so she checks those things. Your shoes are polished. There are certain colors for the nail paint. You can only have those. Is your watch there? Is it working? What color is the watch? Okay, even that, because there are certain colors which you can have for the dial and for the belt. So it has to be there. Are your clothes ironed? Is your hat proper? Is your scarf proper? They would check everything. So yes, grooming is mandatory, makeup is mandatory. So the next question is, can we opt to stay out of accommodation? As I've mentioned before, a lot of my videos, and even I think a couple of times here in this video. So for men, they can opt out. Okay, they can do that. They can move out of the accommodation. They just have to fill a form and they are good to go. Whether married, single, doesn't matter. But for women, if you're married and your husband lives in the country, then you're allowed to move out of the accommodation. If not, then you would have to stay there. You have to follow the rules, and this I felt was a little bit partial, I would say, or unfair, but that's how the rules of the company are, and you would have to follow those. Yes. Let's move on to the next question. So this is an interesting question for all the ladies who wear hijab, and these are all for my hijabi ladies. I got selected in Qatar Airways, but I'm in a dilemma either to join or not. I started practicing hijab, so can I continue with it even when I land at Doha, like the initial days? So the answer is yes, my girl. If you're applying for ground staff, you can definitely wear hijab, and it looks good. So many of my friends wear it, and it's just amazing. If you wear hijab, then you cannot wear skirt, because that kind of defeats the purpose of wearing the hijab. So you would have to wear trousers. So instead of getting 2 pants and 2 skirts, you would get 4 trousers. And you can wear hijab. So there's this hijab, and then you put the hat on the top, and it looks good. So you are good to go. If you're wearing a hijab, you can work as a Qatar Airways ground staff. I have a surgical scar in my hand. Whether it will be an issue, I have already talked about it. No, any kind of scars are not an issue. Even I myself, I have a scar on my hand. It is also a surgical scar, you could say. No, that's not an issue. You can get hired. Yes. Since I talk a lot about senior customer service agent, maybe we have a question related to that. So hi there, who is a senior service agent, airport service agent? So when you join, I joined as a fresher and my grade was 3. I joined on grade 3. So I was a customer service agent. So my job was to actually do the check-in, do the boarding, or be at the transfer desk and listen to my senior, whatever order she gives, because she or he is more experienced and they know things better than I do. So my job was to do everything, handle all the customers, whoever comes to me, I would handle those. Now a senior, on the other hand, would also be with you there, but he or she would not actually do the check-in or do the boarding, but he or she will assign you tasks. So as a senior, I had, let's say, 10 or 12 staffs below me or working under me. So I would give them things to do, that okay, you be at this counter, you be at this counter, and if they have any question, let's say about the visa or about certain customer, maybe we have some doubts, document issue, maybe it's a complicated customer, maybe the customer is complaining, or if I'm doing the flight, then I would ask my staff, I would allocate them. So as a senior, you can imagine, like, you have a team leader, something usually at normal workplaces and offices. So something as a senior would be that people come to you with their problems that they're facing with other customers, so you would solve those, and that is grade 4, and of course the salary increases, and yeah, so you get promoted like that. So customer service agent, senior customer service agent, customer service supervisor, customer service duty officer, customer service duty manager, and that's how also the grade goes on, grade 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. I hope that was your question. If not, comment again, so I'll answer in the next video. The next question is it compulsory to wear skirts? No, it's not at all compulsory to wear skirts. You do get 2 pants and 2 skirts, but to be honest, I never wore the skirts. Just a couple of times when my trousers were actually damaged and I didn't have any choice, so that's the time I wore skirts, because I felt they were not so comfortable, but some of my friends, they liked it, so they used to wear it a lot. But yes, coming to the question, no, it's not mandatory, not at all. I was a trousers girl, you could be that too. Is double piercing allowed? So piercing only for women, not for men. For men, nowhere it's allowed. For women, at the lower lobe of your ear, and it has to be either pearls or gold studs, not anything else. And even if you have double, triple, I don't know, quadruple piercings, as long as you don't wear anything in those, like no earrings have been worn, that's fine. But you cannot go at work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 earrings or piercings. No, you cannot. So only one piercing, that is at the lower earlobe, and you you can only wear pearls or gold stars. Next question is, were you allowed to go home yearly? I can imagine if you are moving abroad, you're living abroad, you definitely want to go home at least once a year. The good news is, if you're working as a ground service agent for Qatar Airways, then you can go home more than once a year. I used to go home almost every other month, at least every other month, I'm not kidding. And some of my friends, they used to go home even weekly. They have 2 days off, they would go home. It sounds like a dream. I would say yes. So my mom sometimes, like not sometimes, but she did not really feel that I was away from her, because I would be home every other month. If not, I would call her to be with me in Doha, or I would go for a family vacation. So yes, sorry, I just got off track. But you can go home as much as you want. So you get a leave or a vacation of total 30 days, which you can divide as you want. So you can divide it in maybe like 5 days in January, 5 days in Feb, 5 days in March, 5 days in April. You can do that, and then you can go home. So because you get staff ticket, it's very cheap to go home. So you can easily do that. So not just yearly, but you can go home as much as you want. Some people also used to do this, that they would take all the leave, or at least like 15 or 25 days together, and they would go home for a longer time. That's up to you how you want to use or utilize your leave. I was one of those people who felt that I need to travel and explore a lot, because I had a chance then. So I was exploring as much as I could. So I did not take all 30 days together, but if you need, most probably yes, you can go for 20-25 days at home. So yearly, at least minimum once a year you can go. Maximum depends on you. How long does it take to get a response after applying? So I have shared my story already about how I gave the interview and what other things happened. So it was a long time. As I've mentioned in my other video, I applied in April and I went to Doha in September. That is a fairly long time, I would say. Yes, there's a fairly long time. So in between there was interview, and then I received emails and this and that. So usually I would say it can take anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months. That's the usual time. And if you don't get a response by then I suggest you just maybe start looking for other jobs. And coming back to the question, the time is somewhere from 3 weeks to 3 months. That's the normal time, the duration. The next question is about the medical test. So when I joined, that was in 2016, the medical test, I had to do one in India, and those are not just any hospital or any clinic that you can go to and be like, okay, give me this certificate. No. So they had a list of authorized hospitals that were authorized by Qatar Airways, so that they were okay with the report coming from one of those hospitals. So you have to go there. They checked my eyes, my ears, there was a urine test, I suppose. I don't remember a lot because it's been almost 10 years. Almost. Also blood test. So once this report was clear, I got the visa and I went to Doha. Once I was in Doha, we had to go for another medical test where they took the chest x-ray and the blood test. So they took off the blood from here, and they also checked us for tattoos and this and that, if we have any other scars. So these were the 2 medical checkups or medical tests which we had to do before joining before and after, like overall, all in all, we had to join. And also I remember there was a TB test, because they're very particular about TB. I'm not like, maybe someone from the medical field would be able to say why they are eagerly focused on TB, but yes. So also we had a TB test. They're very particular about it. So I hope I have covered all your questions.